live in Foothill, Missouri.
And we're moving to the foothills of northeast Arkansas on the beautiful 11-Point River with our little cat Henry.
Hi, folks. How are y'all?
Well, we are back working on the farm a little bit, and today we're going to be working around what I call the V tree because it's shaped like a V. And it's going to be a part of the scenery at the old house place for the wedding.
Our son's wedding. Benjamin.
And Heather. So,
yeah, he's bringing Heather in.
So we're going to be trying to clean up around this one tree. We decided to start with one little project. Mike and I, our health has not been behaving very well. So I've been trying to be careful with my leg and not hurt my leg and my knee. And
Me, I've been having trouble with sugar and blood pressure. To get one lined out, the other suffers.
so we're working on dieting and all kinds of stuff. And Mike says no fun, and I don't think it's fun either. But it is what we need to do right now. So you'll get to see some of what we get finished. I'm going to show you a little bit of the before and the after. So here we go.
Before we pass out or after?
Well, actually, the heat index today is not real bad. It's 79 degrees. And it has been in the 90s, and the heat index has been 105 each day for the past couple of days. So today is a good day to get out and try to work around outside. Well, Mike said, the phooey with all this hoeing stuff. He's going to start working on the old house place with the tractor, which is good. I'm glad. That's where the old carport used to be. Well, garage, rather. Okay, while Mike's working, I thought I would take a little heat break. Woo, you can tell I'm hot. And talk to you guys a little bit about diabetes, which is what Mike and I are both kind of struggling with. Sugar addiction is no joke, and it seems to be in just about every food that I like to eat, and several that Mike likes to eat. He's much better at drinking water than I am. That's why I get dehydrated so much faster, because I don't really think about it, or if I do think about drinking something, it's a lemonade or a soda or a fruit drink or something like that. So I'm gonna have to train myself away from that and try to learn how to drink water. And I know that there are Kool-Aids and things like that that you can squirt in the water, but I also know that the colorings, especially red, are very bad for our bodies. So I'm trying also to watch for that. It's just like I got so many things to watch for. It's overwhelming. So I thought I'd talk to you a little bit about that. And this is what I'm using today. I love Little Debbie cakes and cookies and donuts. Those seem to be my trigger for just about all types of overeating, the cakes and the breads. And I wasn't always like that. I would generally eat one and then leave it alone and go do something else. Well, when I hurt my knee and during the times where I was sick, I was so sedentary that I would forget and go and get another cookie or another cake or something like that and you know, I wasn't able to walk it off or run it off or anything like that like I had been. So it just caught up with me. But one of the suppers that I had here recently, I was worried about the rice because I know that rice is also a starch, and I was concerned that, you know, that would be too many carbs for me. And so I chose to eat half of that, and then later on in the evening when I usually get my sugar cravings, I decided to go get a fudge round, one of those little Debbie cakes. And then I looked it up and I learned that one of those little fudge rounds has over twice the amount that it would have been for me to go ahead and eat the rice. So this is one thing I'm learning. Some of the things that we know about diabetes is that we have to stay away from the starch, like potatoes and corn. And some of the other things that we've learned that are very good for you are onions and sprouts, Brussels sprouts, because those things seem to help lower your blood sugar, along with cabbage. Boiled cabbage is probably better, and that helps lower your blood sugar also. Not only are we working with blood sugar, but for anybody who has worked with blood sugar, you probably know that anytime you try to help your blood sugar, it causes your blood pressure to go out of whack. So we have to be very careful that our blood pressure doesn't go down too low while we're working on our blood sugar. Now, Mike and I, we like different kinds of diets. I know what I can handle, and he does too. And he seems to work better with fasting, intermittent fasting. And I am a student, and I have started journaling thanks to the advice of my sister Becca, who had a brilliant idea, because she knows how much I like to write, and writing things down helps me to process. So I am in the beginning stages of learning about food. Like I said, I'm leaving some of the, I don't really know what kind of bush that is. I just know it was the shrub that was in front of the house, out toward the road. It used to be a big shrub across there that was my grandmother's. And oh, the joys of cutting that shrub every summer, I remember. But I'm going to keep a little bit of it in memory of her and some of the flowers that she raised around this tree. And Dad told me that that big one right there is a 12 apostles. I'm not good with the pointer yet, but I will be. So that's where I'm at so far. And the next one is the crepe myrtle, but I think I am overheated again. I'm gonna cool down a little bit before I try to tackle that.
Are you ready for me to talk?
I'm ready for you to tell about your fasting experience.
Well, my blood sugar is all out of whack. It's been my blood pressure. I've been on medication for blood pressure for quite some time, and I've got it pretty much regulated. So with sugar being high, it just wears me out. I'm just give out, don't have any energy, and feel terrible.
When
So
we
I
tested,
started fasting a little bit to try to help with, you know, because I've seen several videos on how to fast, or people fasted and helped. But I tried the other day fasting for 48 hours, and in the process, guess what happens? My blood pressure, I did take my medicine, but I didn't eat anything. And my blood pressure got down to 98/50 something. Can't remember what it was, 58, I think. 94/58, that's what it was. My heart rate was way high for me. But fasting is easy for me to do. You would think a fat guy like me would probably want to eat a lot. I like to eat, don't get me wrong, but I can fast and that's no big deal. But you gotta be careful when you're on blood pressure because you got one thing fighting another. So the fasting, I'm not doing so much for losing weight, just trying to get the sugar under control quickly, because I checked it the other day, it was 251. That's when I discovered I was having issues, and then checked it the next day, and I think it was 266, or 166, excuse me, 166, and the next day was 142, and that was after the couple of days of fasting. And then the next day, it back up to 188. That's when I started getting sick, because my blood pressure was out of whack because I took the medicine and I had no food. So you gotta watch your P's and Q's, and I ain't young anymore. It's part of my problem. It's mostly my problem is because of eating like I wanted to eat, whether it's right or wrong. And I'm gonna have to start trying to watch better than I have been. So that's my experience with fasting for now. I like it. It's easy, simple, but that is what it is.
Since we're at the river, I decided to try out my new iPhone and all the little gadgets on there. So we've got some pictures of some moths and things like that I've been trying to use the different camera pieces on. So enjoy. I've trimmed it up a little bit, so it's not quite as floppy as it was. It was hanging down pretty good last year about this time. So it's coming back out, and I'm gonna clean up around the outside of it just like I did this flower bed. And I'm trying to save some of the flowers that are around this other side. So I've saved one. This one, I'm not sure what it is, but I'm gonna save that one. And I'm gonna save that little shrub in the front. And then there's, you can see some of the flowers that used to be there. They're dying out. I don't know, I might trim them back, but I'm trying to clean up this area. I've got about 3/4 of it done, so here we go. back to the red hot. So here's the finished product. Like I said, I'm leaving some of the, I don't really know what kind of bush that is. I just know it was the shrub that was in front of the house, out toward the road. It used to be a big shrub across there that was my grandmother's. And oh, the joys of cutting that shrub every summer, I remember. But I'm gonna keep a little bit of it in memory of her and some of the flowers that she raised around this tree. And Dad told me that that big one right there is a 12 apostles. I'm not good with the pointer yet, but I will be. So that's where I'm at so far. And the next one is the crepe myrtle, but I think I am overheated again. I'm gonna cool down a little bit before I try to tackle that. Okay, now we're ready for some mulch and some topsoil to go around the tree that I just cleaned out around, and should make that look a lot prettier. We may plant some flowers closer to the wedding. I don't know. Have Heather pick out what she wants. Something with a little orange and fall. So we'll see. Head on down to the house place, or up to the house place rather, and watch Mike do some bush hogging. And there's a purple flower up there that I want to know what it is. I'm going to take a picture of it. Here we go. So here's Mike bush hogging the little piece that we'd left behind. You kind of see him peeking up around the top. And woo, this air conditioning feels good. I'm telling you. Being out in the sun for a while feels good. Picture of the many dragonflies. They are everywhere. See them? That darker green down there is the hay, and a little bit lighter up past these little trees is where he bush hogged last, and the grass is all shiny and it's really pretty. It's starting to green up a lot since this last rain, and this will only help it more to get rid of some of those blackberry bushes and some of the unnecessary brush and weeds and things. So the grass will be better for the cows to eat, hopefully. of you are probably wondering, what about the house build? When are you going to start building your house? Good question.